from the United States of America, in his bedroom, it's his night show with SAQEB.
And now, introducing your host, it's SAQEB.
Thank you. Have a seat, thank you. I love y'all. Thank you. Have a seat, thank you. Thank you, my name is SAQEB and welcome to the show. I come with good news tonight. We have 43 subscribers this month, 19 since the last video. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Shut up. Listen. I got a story for y'all tonight. So listen up. A few years ago, I met this girl back in algebra class, and she was kind of cute, but back then I never really gave interest to a girl unless I got invested in her. So we got to talking, and we got to be friends. She was cool, I liked her, but things didn't really work out that well. She gave me a chance, and I'm not gonna lie, your boy fumbled the bag. I fumbled it real hard. Yeah. Eventually things went south. They went real bad through text. And to make it even worse, you know when you be taking screenshots of a conversation you had with someone so that you can send it to your friend, but then you accidentally end up sending it to the person you were talking to? Hey man, I didn't mean to. That's a lie. I'm a toxic male. Thank you everybody. Good night. How you doing?
Real niggas from the road, real niggas from the end, real niggas from the home.
The whole experience happened during college when not only was I unqualified to turn a friendship into a romance, I was in no way prepared for one, and it was one of the few things at the time that really challenged my masculinity as a boy. That was my biggest insecurity at the time. I felt like a boy. I always felt like I only cared about my own pleasure. I always made excuses, and I felt needy. I felt like I had nothing to show for myself, nothing that anybody could depend on. Fumbling the girl? That was the last straw for me. It's what triggered me to finally work on the things I was neglecting. Just the ache, that shit will get you down bad in the trenches. For a long time, I suffered because the journey to becoming a man is walked alone.
Just leaving you.
Men struggle alone and hold on to pain and anxiety for the dumbest shit because we don't want to break our frame, because depending on what we expose to who, it changes the way that we're perceived, and more importantly, the way we get treated. And we care a lot about the way we get treated because we remember all the times that we weren't treated right. And we will take pride and protect ourselves in our masculinity to the point where it gets detrimental to our life, getting competitive to the point where it gets petty, engaging in violence to solve our problems, silly power plays for no reason type stuff because we want power, we want control, and it's fucked up. It shouldn't be like that. But if you've ever been taken advantage of for showing too much emotion or being too kind to the wrong person, then you know what that can feel like. Traumatized. As men, we all fear the implication of breaking our image in our day-to-day because we don't want to seem weak. We don't want to risk being taken advantage of by anybody. And society wants to tell us we won't be, but experience says we will. It's happened. We don't want to lose our rank amongst men, the respect we get from our peers with women. It's why we got anti-simp culture. And women get upset when men play Call of Duty, but men can't get upset when women play men. You're crazy. Hey, you wanna know what the truth is? Despite what women say, they don't want somebody who makes them their number one priority. Yeah, there's players and fuckboys out there, but it's mostly simps. And if a woman wants a simp, they're a dime a dozen. Fact, most men want to simp, although they spend so much time learning how to do the opposite because it usually gets you stuck in situations with women you don't wanna be in. They're literal years, decades worth of content written and passed on from one generation of men to another, meant to teach us how to avoid shit like the friend zone. Cause unless you look like Kelly Oubre, you've been through it. Since the history of time, Shakespeare, friend zone. Nobody writing plays unless they're in a friend zone. Pope Francis, friend zone. Why you think he became a pope? Hitler. Probably not. You put his ass in a friend zone, he put you in a gas chamber. Tell you what, I could bet every girl with a social life has a guy friend that she knows is into them. And let me get this straight, that is in no way a woman's fault. It's not her fault you like her. until she inevitably takes advantage of it. Hey, men can be content with just being friends with women. They can be silent about their feelings, but if there's physical attraction, they're gonna have feelings at some kind of level. And I think a lot of women don't understand that, or they just straight up choose to ignore it. Women find attraction in looks too, but more in demeanor, how a man carries himself, and it's why ugly dudes can still bag bad chicks. Whenever I see an ugly dude with a bad chick, I take a moment to tap in with God, just to send in a prayer, because that ain't just a win for man, that's a win for mankind. I see what you're doing for others. Yeah, as a high quality man, I'm gonna want a high quality woman, but initial attraction for us is visual. Look, if a woman looks a certain way in my field of vision and my eyeballs do not blink for longer than 10 seconds, science is doing its work. Blood is flowing and filling in empty spaces. Don't cancel me, and we get it. Just because a woman looks a certain way doesn't mean she acts a certain way, but it's confusing.
Just because they dress a certain way doesn't mean they are a certain way. Don't ever forget it. But ladies, you must understand that that is fucking confusing. Just is. Now that would be like me, Dave Chappelle the comedian, walking around the streets in a cop uniform. Somebody might run up on me. Oh, thank God. Officer, help us. Come on, they're over here. Help us. I'm like, man, oh, just because I'm dressed this way does not make me a police officer.
It really doesn't take much for us to simp, but in this world, the trend shows if you simp, you lose. Take it from the media, take it from pop culture. The only W's that Drake catches from simping are the hits, but he be taking straight L's from the shorties, and it's not even all about the women. Men in the media are setting the standard for other men in terms of desires and behavior. There are a lot of hip-hop artists, sports icons, successful men in the media who act as replacements for men who didn't have a father figure, or maybe they did, but not one that had all the answers because they grew up in a different place and time, which is both a great and a bad thing because a lot of them are providing a lane for men seeking guidance, but not everybody is a great example, and some of them are just as young and confused as the rest of us. Artists like X and Juice, they're legends among young men because they were relatable young men themselves who showed you could still be successful as a man by expressing your pain to a demographic that struggles to do so. But they were still hiding their problem. They were still using vices like drugs, and it's unfortunate that good people like Mac Miller and Juice WRLD lost their lives trying to cope with something alone. So who do we blame? As men, we don't always know what to do and we hold it in. We don't always have our priorities straight. We worry about things like girls and dominance when we're broke and lazy because as confused beings, we get distracted. Our focus gets messed up. We act toxic because we're given the idea that nobody really likes you until you're an asshole. Society always says one thing, but experience says another. I want to say we still struggle with insecurities like homophobia, but it's a lot of such shit on the internet in 2021. We might actually be too gay. How to be a man in 2021, I don't fucking know, but I do know that one thing is for sure. There's no one single way to be a man anymore. And although a lot has changed since the beginning of time, men have always had to deal with the struggle of battling their masculinity, from childhood to adolescence to fatherhood to death. The world is constantly gonna throw tests and negativity at you. And if you ain't solid up here, the biggest favor you could do for yourself as a man is to be solid up here. Getting serious or getting help is not corny or embarrassing, man. This is real life. Thanks for watching. This has been SAQEB. Don't forget the fucking name. If you didn't like the video yet, like the video right now and subscribe. Subscribe.